Alright, welcome to another unboxing video. So for this video, we are going to be unboxing the Figuarts Zero Ushio Kofune or Kofune Ushio from Summertime Rendering or Summertime Render. So this figure was released on September 22nd of 2022. I got this figure off a Lunar Toy Store. So she cost me $89.99, but I had a 15% discount, so I saved $13.50. But on top of the $5 flat fee that Lunar Toy Store has, I ended up paying $81.49. So I ordered it on the Black Friday deal on November 25th. It shipped the following Monday on the 28th, and I received it on Saturday, December 3rd. So the process altogether after payment was a little bit over a week. So Summertime Rendering was one of those special animes for me of 2022. It's arguably the best anime in my opinion of 2022. At the very least, it's a top 5 anime. So I wanted to get a figure, a character specifically from this anime, and of course Ushio Kofune is one of the main characters, so I had to get something. So Figuarts Zero is a good opportunity to buy something from the show. Otherwise, you're looking at a few other prize figures. So there are a couple of scales coming up, the Shanghai manufacturing side of Good Smile Company. So I have that on tabs right now to kind of see how that comes out, but this Figuarts Zero is going to have to do. My favorite character in the show is Hizuru Minakata. So she does have a prize figure available for pre-order in the US. I typically don't get prize figures, but that is something that I'm most likely going to get because they're probably not going to make a scale figure of this character. For Ushio Kofune, she does have the Nendoroid, so if you guys like collecting Nendoroids, she does have one available. Unfortunately, there isn't any other scales available yet, so we're going to have to put all of our eyes set on those future upcoming Good Smile Company scales. So yeah, besides that, do me a favor guys, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Check out my blog at otakusen.com and check out my other anime channel. It is Otakusen. Do me a favor and subscribe over there. That is where I'm going to be talking about anime. And also on Monday nights at 10 p.m. Central, that is when I will be doing live streams on this channel right here. And I started a Discord, so all that information will be in the description below. So yeah guys, let's go ahead and unbox this figure. All right, so this box I got from Lunar Toy Store. The couple things that I got from Lunar Toy Store, their packaging are not that great. I remember the boxes came in a little bit dinged up. If I had a knock so far on Lunar Toy Store, it is their boxing. As you can see here, it says handle with care, fragile, thank you. But Lunar Toy Store is going to have to do a better job with packing the inside to make sure things like this that happens to their boxes don't actually end up damaged. So let's go ahead and open it and find out. Yeah, so on the top of the box, it was just a packing slip. As you can see here on the inside of the box, there's only one paper layer that's really keeping it in place. Because Figuarts Zero generally comes in within its own little brown box, I don't think they felt the need to pack it even more because there's already a box around it. But it'd be nice if they pack it a little bit nicer. I paid the cheaper shipping, the $5 flat rate, so I think that's just something you'll have to expect. Alright, for the Figuarts Zero box. Figuarts Zero always does a good job designing their box. As you can see down here, you have the little Tamashii Nation sticker. It says Tamashii Nation's quality on there. I'm sure this sticker has some kind of value in terms of authenticity. But the design of it, it's always a clean feel. It's not like quite like cardboardy. It has kind of like a gloss feel to the box. And of course, the pictures of the dang figure on there. But yeah, the box actually turned out to be in very, very good condition. Typically, you know, you might see a dent or scuffs or scratches on the box. I think a lot of people kind of sleep on Figuarts Zero a bit because they're a little bit cheaper and they're smaller, but generally their designs are awesome. But I'll get into that later. So let's just open the box. Sometimes in the inside of figure boxes, there's like some designs, but Figuarts Zeros, I don't really think that they do too much inside. At least this one, there's nothing on the inside. And at the bottom of the box, there's looks like there is the manual. Well, it's not really a manual, it's just kind of a figure card. So that is pretty neat. For Figuarts Zero, it's not articulated, so meaning there shouldn't be any other parts. It should just be one whole figure. So it looks like the whole figure just comes in one gigantic plastic wrap. So you always want to be careful when you start unwrapping these, because there's certain areas where they wrap up specifically to protect the hair, any kind of extra body parts, especially if it had removable parts. There's always some kind of like plastic layer. You could kind of already see right here. Well, it's actually kind of hard to see, but a little plastic gets under the hair, so you have to make sure you guys are very careful when you open these things. But yeah, man, I am super excited. Black Friday, baby. Let's go. Heck yeah, man. Alright, so after unboxing this figure right here, let's just start off with the downsides of the figure. For Figuarts Zero, it's unarticulated, so meaning that you don't have to put any of the parts together. That is a good thing about Figuarts Zero. But when you collect enough of these, I have the Rengoku one with actually the swappable face, and I had the Shinobu Kocho one off of Demon Slayer. So those ones, they all mimic in quality. So that is not necessarily the best thing, but it's something to kind of be familiar with. So all of them, it will have a certain amount of defects that you can expect. So sometimes the mold on the figure, it's not that perfect. So it's not going to be the sharpest. So on this figure, there isn't anything that's like too egregious. There are some spots where the mold could have been a little bit cleaner. I know on the Rengoku one, by the foot of the figure, the mold, the fire mold was a concern. But on this one, there isn't anything really to complain heavily about. This is kind of what you should expect. It's decent, but it's not great. But for spending, you know, $82 on this figure, I mean, that is what you would come to expect. So the figure itself is pretty small, so I'm assuming this is around a 1/12 scale. So it does run on the smaller end, but through its design and the special effects on the figure, it's pretty cool. So besides the sculpt, besides the mold, there's also the paint errors on the figure. It's not going to be the best either. You're just going to have a little bit of paint. As you can see on her swimsuit, you have the blue and then you have the white, and of course there is a little bit of overlap with that blue and white paint on the figure itself. And through the sculpting of the figure itself, the sculpting is pretty good. There are some lines, more of like these painting lines, and some of these kind of like weird little like lines that are on her leg, on the left side of her leg, on kind of her butt area. You could kind of see, you know, just some part of the paint that's a little bit, it's not smooth over. And as you look at the sculpt of her hair, and once again, the molding on the sculpt of her hair, it's not the smoothest. There's some parts that needed to be smoothed out a little bit more. So you have these little spots. It's not cleanly smoothed over. And you have like little dots of mold or paint that's, you could kind of feel the roughness of it on the figure. And there's other parts on the figure itself where it's just a little bit of black dust, or maybe part of a messed up mold or paint or whatever. Those are kind of the little, you know, things about the figure that you'll notice compared to a scale figure from Kotobukiya and those higher end figures when you're paying like $120 and above. You're just not going to see that egregious of sculpting, you know, unevenness and the roughness of the figure. Generally, scale figures, it's gonna be clean paint, clean sculpt. If there's any mode that's involved in it using special effects, it's usually pretty clean. So Figuarts Zero is a step below that, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, especially for the price. So you get literally what you pay for Figuarts Zero. So the price of it is generally consistent with what a lot of other Figuarts Zero figures that you would end up paying for, and judging by inflation and everything, it's all trending up to be closer to $100. But Figuarts Zero, you could find it probably anywhere between, let's say, $70 to $100. And depending on what they want to do with the figure, there are some Figuarts Zero figures that's closer to like $140. Figuarts Zero is all about the elaborate design. It's the sum of the parts rather than the individual parts about the figure. So if you look just at the paint, if you look at just the sculpting, those things might, you know, throw you off a little bit. But when you look at the figure as a whole and what they're trying to accomplish, it's good. Figuarts Zero is like the baseline for what figure companies and designs should go for at least. And the only thing that really needs to be cleaned up is the quality, the smoothness, the mold being all smoothed out, the painting being a little bit better. So those are all things that are fixable, and that's the reason why these other scales cost more compared to Figuarts Zero. It's just not, you get what you pay for, and I'm gonna keep hammering that home. And it's kind of hard to knock something that you paid under $100 for when you compare to all the other things where you paid over $100, $200, $300 more. There's just different expectations. So if you wanted a cleaner figure, you'll have to look at a different line of figures besides Figuarts Zero. But for summertime rendering, there is literally only Figuarts Zero or prize figures, or you're going to have to hope and pray that Good Smile, the Shanghai division, does a good job with their upcoming scales of Shinpei Ajiro and Ushio Kofune. And on the figure itself, what they put on there is actually very important things of the show. You have clock, represents time. You have the phone, which is a very important part of the show. And you have kind of like this nail gun deal, which is a very important part of the show. And then you have the shell. The shell is very, very important to Shinpei and Ushio. And then you have the book. I kind of forgot what the book was about. But overall, man, this is a cool design that from a show where it's supernatural. There are some, you know, spectacular things that you could kind of see visually from the animation. For them to kind of come up with this design, they had to think outside the box, and they had to do something which turned out to be very, very cool. So Ushio Kofune, a good character, a main part of the show. She's a character that, you know, I would have thought to be one of those annoying characters. Usually a lot of female leads, characters like this, in my opinion, I kind of like put them in the box. They're usually annoying. But she turned out to be a good balance between a character that's trying to help out versus a character that is just, you know, super annoying, that needs all the help that she can. She is the one in the show that helps guide the main character, Shinpei Ajiro. So I'm okay with buying a figure from here, and I love the show. It is totally a top anime. So yeah, overall, the things that you can expect from this figure and Figuarts Zero in general is the paint is going to be a little bit off. The molding is not going to be the smoothest. There's going to be a little parts about the figure where things have like little painted dots, or there's going to be a roughness in the mold. There's going to be a little bit of particles here and there where it just something messed up and is a little bit dirty. Some parts you could kind of clean off, some other parts it's kind of just going to be stuck there. But in general, it's not about, you know, the intricate detailed cleanness of the figure. It is about the overall design, the overall sum of the parts, which makes it a good figure for the appropriate price of around $82. If you got it for a regular price, with tax and shipping and everything, you could end up paying over $100. But for $82, man, I am pretty happy with this purchase. Yeah, like I said, the prices of anime figures is going to be trending up. So for Figuarts Zero to be around that $90 price range. Maybe within the next year they could kind of keep it around that price, but you might start ending up seeing more Figuarts Zeros trending towards $100. It kind of sucks, but it's just life, man. And that's just life of collecting, you know, things that we love. But yeah, Summertime Rendering, it was just randomly recommended to me, and I deep dived in and I couldn't stop watching, and I finished it and loved it. I have a blog post about it, so if you guys want to check out the blog post and check out what Summertime Rendering is about, you know, I have a blog post of should you watch this anime. So definitely recommend watching this show. And if there was a figure, I mean Figuarts Zero, if that is the only option that we have out there for available characters, I think they're still a good option. They are definitely still a good option, and it's worth my $82. I think this figure is good value. It's still available on Lunar Toy Store. It's on Right Stuff Anime. It's still widely available. If you could still find it in Japan, which some places should still have this figure available, it's around maybe like 8,000 yen. So that's around $60. So if you're able still to do boat shipping, I mean, you're paying closer to maybe like $75. So that's assuming that the boat shipping is like $15. So it is still a good price overall to buy it from overseas, but I recommend buying Figuarts Zero domestically. Let those companies get those figure in and just buy it from them, because the price difference isn't that big of a deal. In my opinion, you know, a lot of the anime figure companies domestically, they do better with returns and their exchange policies and that type of deal. It's easier to deal with anime figure companies within your own country. So yeah, the cleanness of the quality of the figure is something that you'll have to accept. But if you need something to be of high quality, maybe this isn't for you. But for me, I think it's perfectly fine, and especially for the price. I love the show, love the characters. It's just a cool design overall, and all the little parts about the show is on the figure. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this figure. Do you have it? It's been out for a few months already. So if you guys have it, let me know how yours turned out. Let me know what you guys think about the anime. And do me a favor, guys. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Check out my blog, otakusen.com. Check out my anime figure channel, Otakusen, where I talk about anime. Yeah, I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.